Tiffany Haddish has had a long 20-year career battling her way up from nothing on a local circuit to being in some great movies. Girls Trip, starring Miss Toxic herself, Jada Pinkett Smith. Tiffany has hosted some Netflix specials. They Ready, Black Bar Mitzvah. So she has been very successful over the past 10 years. Let's give her a round of applause for that since the getting it going. But recently she's had a lot of bad things. The past has come back to bite her, where she had a cringe video uploaded on Funny or Die where she was producing an Ari Spears Mr. Get Beat Up by Zoe Williams on the Corey Holcomb show himself was caught simulating bad things with children in a means of a comedy skit. Now, I have always been a fan of comedy and saying that comedians have a lot of leeway, but even this one, when I seen it, it just wasn't that funny. But I don't want to talk about Tiffany Haddish, who just recently admitted that she has no jobs, and she was in a commercial airport when TMZ hit her up. She has no jobs and no outlooks, and she just settled the lawsuits. Or Ari Spears, who says that after this, his career is basically over, and he already felt that he was shadow banned. I mean, this is tragic, but I want to know, why are these established entertainers and comedians not doing things to fortify themselves against cancellation? Now, there's been a lot of cancellations going around. I mean, we have Andrew Tate, Cobra Tate, which he went to Rumble and had thousands and thousands of people in his first live stream chat. Shout out to Andrew and Tristan. Whether you like them or not, I like to see people make a way. And there's also a comedian out of Chicago named Corey Holcomb, who has been threatened to be canceled repeatedly. So the question I ask, and the question we have to look at and explore, is why Corey Holcomb, a man with some of the funniest jokes, but they're all aimed to piss people off, why is he able to maintain himself in this type of environment? Well, the answer is simple. Corey Holcomb is doing something that one of my favorite rappers, David Banner, realized when he went independent, is that if he has his core audience, that's all he needs. His core audience. Corey Holcomb has a podcast called 5150, and it's one of the funniest shows that you can watch. It's long-winded and it's a variety show, but Corey Holcomb, along with Darlene OG, more than not have hilarious conversations about real down-to-earth things. But the question is, why is Corey Holcomb, a man who's known to make jokes about abortion, jokes about single moms, able to stream consistently with thousands and thousands and thousands of people in the chat? How a little channel with only a little by some extent, but of course a huge channel with 263K subs, able to produce and keep him afloat? Well, there's two things. Number one, Corey Holcomb is an independent contractor, stand-up comedian who works the road constantly and will not be denied. But also, because he has the 5150 show, shout out to him, he always has a built-in audience ready to listen to what he says. So a lot of us content creators, we have to learn from that, whether black, white, or other. Andrew Schultz is another person I point to, where Andrew Schultz took all of the balls in the world and took his special off of a major streaming platform because they said that he had to censor himself, doubled down, brought it from them, put it out himself, and quadrupled his money. We have to learn from these examples. David Banner, who took his music off a major label when his deal was over, and realized that if we just had ourselves as a community in hip-hop, that's all he needed. Did the God Box tour after landing, making the music for the World Cup. David Banner is independently wealthy because of that. Once again, outside of the system. We look at brothers like Tyler Perry, who makes some of the worst movies about black men I've ever seen, but I gotta give him a round of applause because he's outside of the system. So what does this tell everybody? If you could be canceled inside of the system so easy, get out the system. You don't have to be in the system. You have to have the grit, the intestinal fortitude, and the wherewithal to do it yourself. Bougie Badass, another example, independent rapper. But whether you like his music or not, you have to respect his hustle. Bougie actually reached out to Tiffany Haddish and said, hey, you don't need this system. I'll produce your movie. I got a bag for you right now. Not as big as the bag that you may have gotten, but still a bag. We have to look at these examples and we have to do something. One way or another, we will not get ahead as content creators. And I talk to content creators, especially black content creators. You will not get ahead. You will be censored and you will be pigeonholed unless you get outside of the system eventually. I mean, you got to know it. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. He's staying in the black manosphere because he feels that that's all he needs in his corner. Now, you know, he could have went mainstream a long time ago, but he's not. So what do you guys think about that? Get outside of the system. Do something. Reinvest in yourself. Reinvest and believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, then how can you even start? But don't think believing is just enough. We ain't in this manifestation game. The last thing I'll leave you with is that my plan when I traveled the world, I started planning on traveling the world when I was 11 years old. I didn't take my first trip until I was 18. I planned from 11 years old to 18, that's 7 years, and then I took a trip to summer. I put myself in position to go. I traveled Europe playing in a band the same way I planned it out. The 38 countries I've been to, plus I've planned it out. But you have to believe, make it happen, and follow through. And it works with business too.
I'm here to build a business, a brand, and help people along the way. It's not for us to fix other people. It's for us to address ourselves, to become the best version of ourselves. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. That's all this has ever been about, becoming the best version of yourself and then picking from the options, right?
So what do you folks think, huh? This is Tip Talk. So you got to ask yourself one question. Can you handle the tip? Booty in your face. We're out. This is the Happiness Podcast. I'm Grover.
Oh, yeah, it's my turn. I'm Scotty.
This motherfucker right here, boy. Leave your comments and like and subscribe on YouTube. Booty in your face.
We found true happiness.